XRP already has the backing of the US government. All of this is cooking right now, just out of public view, and when it finally surfaces, it's going to blindside a lot of folks. I'm laying out the proof for you today, piece by piece. We're talking about the biggest banks on the planet, federal agencies, and heavyweight institutions all lining up behind XRP for use cases so massive that even one of them alone could send this asset into the trillions. And look, I don't say that kind of thing for clickbait. The groundwork for this has been quietly laid over nearly 10 years. And as someone holding XRP, I'm genuinely pumped about where this road is heading. All right, so there are a few things happening right now that have flown under the radar for a lot of people. Like Trump announcing the strategic crypto reserve includes Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and Cardano. Back on March 2nd, 2025, Trump stood up and made this public. The timing was wild because the entire crypto market was on fire, one coin after another smashing through ceilings nobody thought possible. XRP itself went on to hit prices we'd never seen before, practically right after that moment. And no, that's not some happy accident. But here's what people miss. Trump didn't just slap his name on an ETF with XRP and a bunch of other digital assets and call it a day. The people writing him checks, the power players who have his ear, the institutional money, they're all placing the same chips on the table. BlackRock filed their ETFs. Grayscale jumped in with theirs. Bank of America actually went hands-on, wiring XRP's blockchain straight into their own infrastructure. FedNow came into the picture, one heavyweight after another, all falling in line. Zoom out and you start to see what this really is. The Trumps, Donald, Eric, the whole crew, plus everyone in their tight circle, they want to own a slice of this because they've read the room. They see the writing on the wall. Digital assets, XRP front and center, are going to be baked into everything that's coming. And there's another piece of this puzzle that slipped right past most people's radar. XRP scored a conditional approval on a National Trust Bank charter application. Why does that matter? Because that's the gateway to XRP being used in normal, everyday money movement across borders. That went through on December 12th, 2025. So let me line all of this up so you can see how fast the dominoes are falling. March 2025, Trump rolls out the ETF with XRP sitting inside it. 9 months later, December 2025, Ripple walks away with that bank charter approval in hand. Now push the clock forward just a little more and we land on something that's had people talking for months, FedNow. And here's a fact that catches a lot of folks off guard when they first hear it. Kraken, yeah, the exchange, actually secured access to the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. That happened during 2025 as well. That approval for Kraken just came through, but here's the thing. Kraken originally filed that application way back in 2020, so it took 5 years. Now, Ripple put in their own application in 2025, and when you look at where the wind is blowing right now, with the SEC, the Federal Reserve, and the broader US government all warming up to Ripple in a way we've never seen before, it's pretty clear this isn't going to take 5 years for them. We're probably looking at months, not years, before Ripple gets that same stamp of approval. And to me, that's the moment everything changes. That's the last wall standing between where we are now and where this whole thing has been building toward for years. Once Ripple clears that hurdle, the door swings wide open. That's when the real hands-on connection between Ripple, the Federal Reserve, and FedNow actually kicks into gear. A company that Ripple has a direct relationship with is already handling live payments inside the FedNow system and the broader network around it. Ripple stepping into that same position on its own, that's coming any day now. But here's where things stand with the banking side. Multiple banks around the world have XRP running in test environments right now. They're experimenting with it, seeing how it performs. The problem? None of them can go all in. They can't push every transaction through XRP because until recently, the XRPL was locked out. It couldn't reach every corner of the financial system, and the paperwork, the licenses, none of that was in order. Now check out who's already lined up across the Asia-Pacific region alone. SBI, Axis Bank, Kotak, Union Bank, China Bank, CM Commercial Bank, Worry Bank, Shinhan Bank, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and Vietcom Bank. So that's a stacked lineup, and we're only talking about one corner of the globe. Swing over to North America and the names hit different. PNC is on the list, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, American Express, Cross River Bank, Frankenmuth Credit Union. Now hold on, because there's a fresh addition to that North American group, somebody that just showed up very recently, and the second I tell you who it is, you're going to know the name instantly. I'll reveal that in a moment. But before I do, I need you to understand the full picture here. This isn't just an Asia and North America story. Banks in the Middle East are involved, European institutions are on board, Latin America has skin in the game, Africa too. And then you've got payment companies running operations globally, out of Singapore, out of the United States. Every single one of these names carries serious weight. Pull all those banks together and calculate what they're collectively processing every 24 hours. You land in trillion-dollar territory real fast. Numbers that, if I'm being honest, most people can't even visualize. And XRP sitting at the center of all that money flowing back and forth, that's not a dream, that's the blueprint. You already know what that means for where XRP is headed. All right, so check this one. PNC Bank, a top 10 bank actually in the United States, and they've actually fully joined RippleNet. PNC customers will actually be able to receive real-time cross-border payments. With more than 8 million customers and retail branches in 19 states, PNC has a diverse set of customers, including consumers, small businesses, and large corporates. Now, a commercial client in Pennsylvania receiving a payment from a UK buyer will be able to receive payments against their invoices instantly, transforming the way they manage their accounts receivable and allowing them to better manage their working capital. The bank joins some of the world's leading financial institutions on the network, including Banco Santander, American Express, and the SBI-led Japan Bank Consortium, to name a few. Think about what that means for regular customers. Every single account holder at that bank wakes up one day with access to tech that completely changes how their money works. Okay, so remember I dropped a name a minute ago? Bank of America. These guys spent years acting like blockchain was radioactive. Publicly, they went hard against crypto. Bitcoin was dirty money. It funded drug operations. It was a criminal's best friend. They said all of it with a straight face. Meanwhile, out of the spotlight, they had been plugged into RippleNet the whole time. Nobody really knew. That information is just surfacing now. Turns out Bank of America had a pilot going, quietly road testing this technology while telling the public the exact opposite story. They were running it live. XRP was functioning as the bridge asset between transactions, and the results were proving that their whole system performs at a higher level with this tech in place than it ever did without it. This is not theoretical. This is all unfolding right now. The world's largest banks are building XRP into their infrastructure. The US government is weaving XRP into its financial framework at a scale most people haven't grasped yet. The president himself, along with his closest circle, they're buying it, they're trading it, they're putting their names on major products tied to it. Every bit of this is verifiable. It's out there. And here's what separates XRP from everything else in the crypto space. Nothing else comes close to this depth of connection with the existing financial world. Try to find another digital currency that can point to a real working partnership with PNC Bank that actually made their operations measurably stronger. That search comes up empty. Find me one other crypto project sitting across the table from Bank of America testing real transaction pilots. You can't. Point to another digital asset that's catching fire because the person in the White House keeps building products around it. There isn't one. And apart from a handful of exchanges like Kraken, which I already went over, show me another major crypto project that secured a conditionally approved National Trust Bank charter like Ripple pulled off. Good luck. But all of that still undersells where XRP is headed. This isn't about becoming another place to buy and sell coins. What's taking shape here is a complete rewiring of how the financial system operates, from the ground up, for good. Honestly, what's ahead for XRP has me more excited than I've been in a long time. If even a small piece of what I covered today shifted how you see what's building around this asset, then this video did its job. You all showing up means everything. Smash that like button, get subscribed if you haven't already. Catch you all in the next one.